Hi, I'm Matt from eSpares. In this video, I'll be changing a double wall socket for a double wall socket with two USB connectors. Fantastic for charging your phone, your tablet, or any other device that uses a USB charger. Safety first. All electrical circuit work should be carried out by competent persons in line with any current regulations. If you're in any doubt, do contact a qualified electrician to do this fix for you. The next thing I need to do is to test that the socket is wired incorrectly using a handy socket tester. Simply plug that in, and if all is working correctly, 3 lights should illuminate. So there we can see that this socket is wired correctly. The next thing you need to do is to disconnect the electrics from the socket itself. So go to your fuse board, find the relevant fuse and disconnect it. Do make sure that when you're working on the socket, no one resets that fuse, as it could be very, very dangerous. Now all lights have gone off on the socket tester, so I can be sure that the power has been turned off for the socket. The next thing I need to do is to unscrew the faceplate. With the faceplate unscrewed, I'm just going to ease it ever so slightly out of the wall to gain access to the wires, but also show you how the wires are connected in to the terminal blocks on the faceplate. What I'm going to do is just double check that there's no power coming to the socket using a multimeter set to its highest AC voltage setting. Then using the probes, measure across the terminals, and if there's no power coming to the socket, there should be no change in the reading on the multimeter. Once you're happy there's no voltage in the socket, you can then unscrew the terminals and release the wires. With the old faceplate removed, grab your new faceplate with the 2 USB connections, and on the back you'll see there is an indicator as to where the neutral goes, where the live goes, and where 2 earth wires go. You can put 2 earth wires into the one terminal, but for the purpose of this I'll be splitting the 2 earth wires and they'll have a terminal each. Make sure you put them in nice and strong and tighten the terminal screws as much as you can. When putting the wires into position in their terminals, push them in as far as they'll go and make sure you're screwing down onto the copper connection rather than the insulation. Once each wire is in the relevant terminal, give each wire a good tug. Make sure they're firmly screwed in. Once you're satisfied, feed the wires back into the wall and give them a push to get the socket in exactly the right place. Once you're happy, you can then screw it into place. Once the faceplate is screwed in, you can then turn the power back on at the fuse board, and using your socket tester, plug that in to make sure that you've wired up the socket correctly. Again, 3 lights should illuminate if you have. So there we have it, one new double socket with 2 USB connections installed. For a wide range of electrical fittings and for spares and accessories for all the appliances around your home, visit the eSpares website. Thanks for watching.